What's up, fam? You already know what time it is. Hey, in today's video, I'm going to break down 3 high option plays that was bangers and home run plays for us the last 24 hours. And then, fam, what I want to do is break down a new high option play that has just now entered the fold that I'm keeping my eyes on and playing it close. And then also, finance news that matters. I want you to stay tuned for that as I break down the VIX and I even get into what's going on Capitol Hill. Hey, if you feel like the psychology of the stocks that I bring to you and the moves that I make in the market, I need you to use that first link down below where you can join my Discord. And man, I'm going to welcome you over there with open arms, baby, and we're going to take care of business each and every day. Let's get into the video. It's your boy video today where we're going to talk about 3 bangers. We're going to talk about 3 stocks that we hit home runs with over the last 24 hours. And then we're going to break down a stock that we're looking to see swing up to the upside where we can take advantage of this play over and rinse and repeat for the next month or so. So you got to stay locked in because I'm going to break down that play, but you already know what we got to do first. Let's get directly down into the plays that we need to talk about first. And the first thing I want to do is break down the VIX so you can see how the market has been actually reflecting exactly what's been going on. Like I talked about this in the previous video where I said, hey, you need to watch the VIX before you go into any plays because the market is giving you these head fakes. And if you keep looking for the head fakes, you're going to miss out on opportunities. And this means that you have to be a little bit more patient in the plays as they develop. They may look bad at first and they may turn their head back to the right side, but then at the same time, if you stay too long, which means you overstayed your welcome, you can lose to the downside. So you got to pay attention to what you actually have going on. So let's look at the VIX today and let's see where we're currently at. I actually just made a new trend line today on this where you'll see I basically went from September 20th showing you where we was at 24, because remember, anything to me over 22 is something that you really want to pay attention to on the VIX. When we get into these levels, this is where you can see the market always taking these declines, and the tech on the NASDAQ side is going to take the biggest hit most of the time, then followed by the S&P 500, and then obviously the Dow Jones is going to follow. So this is what I want you to look at here. You'll see on September 20th, we started trading about on the VIX about 24.29, right? And then we started seeing a nice little decline. We'll get down to about 21.83. And then we had this nice gap down to where we get all the way down to 1763 on September 24th. And then we get the Evergrande news. When we get the Evergrande news, you started to see this nice gap back up on the volatility index. And once we get up to this volatility index up here, we have been consistently trading in this region right here. This is basically a nice region to actually corner off and pay attention to here. So what I'll do is actually draw a trend line above and put it into a channel so we'll see when this actually breaks. Because this is what you care about. You care about this channel right here to actually see what is going on exactly with the VIX. And this VIX is actually going to help you understand if you should be buying puts or should you be buying calls. And this is where you should be. And this is kind of a moment in time where you got to actually take a pause and understand how many calls, how many put options that you have out there, or is this a better time for you to actually be selling sold puts? And this is what I'm actually training my mind to get towards. And this is one of the psychology things that I like to talk about, is that you want to make sure that you are always thinking about the upside on the next play. You can always get locked into the strategy that you're currently in, but if you don't expand your strategy, you can miss out on opportunity. And this VIX right now, the volatility that we're seeing in it is giving you an opportunity to make a lot of money in a lot of different places. You just got to know where to find them. So, okay, let's talk about what plays are we looking at right now that we actually talking about that was home runs over the last 24 hours. So I was on the road yesterday. So while I was on the road, I made some plays as I got a chance to on a break. But when you're looking at the plays that I made today, you will see that when I closed out today, you will see that I actually got into these plays with a lot of contracts, but I sold off contracts on the way up at different levels to take different profit gains at the same time. So I was always seeing profit that I wanted to see. Now you already know what we say over here. 100% is a home run play, and baby, that's what we love to see here. So we're going to start with Disney first. We're going to get into Disney. You'll see here that I sold 4 contracts today for basically 142% gain. Okay, those are the contracts I sold today, but I had 8 contracts overall on this play where I made good consistent money throughout the day on this over the last 24 hours. This is a play that I entered yesterday. We saw that it was in a downtrend bearish market, took advantage of it on the 172.5 put, and you currently see that when I sold off this contract, it was down to 170.43. So what about another play here that I sold off of today and made good money off of? That would be actually IronNet. Okay, you'll see IronNet, we had this for a $23 put, and this thing has sold off tremendously. 20% yesterday, another 18% today. Made tremendous money on this with only 2 contracts, and you'll see the second contract that I closed out today, 203% gain on the day. That's in 24 hours, fam. Saw a downtrend in the market, took advantage of it, and got in and got out of the play and secured the bag. The one thing that you have to do on option plays, if you don't secure the bag, it don't make a difference if you're up 200%, 25%, 5%. If you don't secure the bag, you are still leaving money on the table, and that's what's important here, to never leave the money on the table. Then we'll talk about another play here that I have been riding for the last 3 days, okay? When I sent this alert out that I actually entered this play, that would be, let's see here. I want to make sure I get it up on the screen for you. You will see here that we actually kept this play in rotation for the last 3 days, and this is Palantir. We started out with like 10 contracts on Palantir, and we kept selling them over 100% gains, okay? So we hit a home run on this play multiple times throughout the week where we made tremendous gain on this play, where you'll see the last 2 contracts that we closed out, 181% gain on the day. Now, those are the home run option plays that we made, and now we're looking at a new option play to enter the fold. And here's the thing, you always hear buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, in this case, we're going to turn that about in fair play, right? We're going to actually sell the news, which we did, and now we're going to buy the upside for the dip. That's what we see. We're going to buy the dip at this point in time. So we're selling the news, and now we're going to buy the dip, because the play that we're going to talk about today is going to be Activision, okay? We're going to talk about Activision because I see this play currently at this point in time. It's getting ready to go into an uptrend. Now, what you're going to see though is that we had a lot of things going on with Activision. So about at this point in time where you see that this decline came around 86.78, you'll see that we're in a nice downside trend, right? This downtrend came from not speculation, all news about things going on inside Activision, dealing with sexual harassment and things of that nature inside the business. And we've seen people step down, and people have now left the business of Activision and have moved on to doing whatever else they're doing. And this has led to the downside pressure on Activision as they're cleaning the house and trying to rebrand their image, okay? But at the same time, I've been watching this play because if you're paying attention to Activision, you'll see on the 52-week high, they're up to $104, okay? But that's not the reason why I care about this play. I care about this play because it's a rebound play, and you can take advantage of this in the shares game, or you can take advantage of it in the option game. Now, let's look at the trend line that I actually already had set up for support here. So I had a support line at 74.09. Okay, and it actually slipped down to $72.20. So if I was actually move the support line here down to 72.20, and then you actually see the next bounce that we get right there, fam, is going to be here at this 73.70 line, right? So we've seen a bounce off the 73.70, and we've pretty much been in an uptrend since then. So to me, this is now shown that we're getting ready to actually enter a situation where this play is going to keep on developing out. So now what are we looking at for? We're looking for actual earnings that's going to actually prop this play up and give us an opportunity to run this play over and over again for the next couple weeks. Now, is it going to be a straight up channel? It may not be a straight up shot, but here's the thing. You're getting the opportunity to get in on the play where it actually has opportunity to keep growing and actually keep on printing you new money over and over again. And that's what I'm looking for. So we're going to be watching this channel to actually see what we actually get out of this play and see if it actually holds par inside these lines. If it does, that means that we're going in the right trajectory, and that's where we want to stay at. If it doesn't give us that, then we're going to keep paying attention to it and actually go back to put city on it. But right now, I think we're at a level where you're going to start seeing an upside trend on this play. The first level that I'm looking at is 78.15 to actually take advantage of this play, and then at the 78.15, we're looking for 78.85. And that's what we want to get to next. And we get to those levels, then we can start seeing room for 80 and then we'll reset the support lines at that time and actually talk about this even more. But I believe Activision is going to be a play that you want to pay attention to. Now, let's get into a little bit of finance news here while I got your attention. And let's slide on over to Bloomberg, where we'll see that Congress clears government funding bill to avert shutdown. Here's the thing. Yeah, we have the government funding bill completed, right? But that's never, to me, this was never a thing that people should have been worried about. Actually, today, the House is actually considering trying to actually get the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill to the House floor. This is something that I think a lot of people should pay attention to. I don't think this bill is going to get passed in the form and structure that it's currently at. And here's the reason why. I don't believe this bill is going to get passed because it's a lot of things that need to be, it's a split division inside the Democratic Party at this point in time. You have progressives and you have moderates, and they're both on two different sides of legislation when it comes to either dealing with the social infrastructure bill or dealing with the green infrastructure bill. And until they get the differences settled within the House, they cannot move forward and actually get things moving in the right direction. So to me, this $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill is going to be on the table for a while, but it's not going to get any movement until they actually clean up the in-house fighting. And then once they do that, then you have to also understand maybe they were going to have to use budget reconciliation for one of the bills. If they decide they have to do that, they may come in the form of social infrastructure, more so than it actually be with the green infrastructure bill, even though we would rather see a lower bill at a lower cost basis, probably about $900 billion to about $1 trillion. We're currently sitting at this point in time where we don't think that we can get any of that passed right now. And this is what we're actually paying attention to, especially now with the debt ceiling now being approved and moved to 2022. If the Democratic Party do not get this bill passed by the end of this year, you can kind of see the writing on the wall that this bill will not be passed before the next two mid-year elections. And if we get those mid-year elections, you could actually probably see a red wave in the House and the Senate, and now none of these things are going to get measured and passed through. That's just my take on it for right now, and we'll see how this continue to develop, and we'll understand it from that level of time in later. But at this point in time, I think that's what we're going to be sitting at for a while. So I hope you found value in this content. If you definitely have, go ahead and hit the like button on this, and definitely subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and bang that notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I drop way more high content like this. Hey man, it's going to be your homie Craig. I'll catch you in the next video. Y'all stay safe. Peace.